Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ned. This is my little buddy Jai right here. Hey Jai, don't get excited. Today we're going to be talking about building out our Power BI forecasting process. Now, this is a video series that I've released quite a few videos on as of late. And in the last video, we finished the Python functionality that allowed us to write and edit a record, and as well as the Python functionality that allowed us to delete a record. Now, these are Python functions that are going to be called from our Microsoft Power BI dashboard. So they're really core to the functionality of the process that we're building. However, towards the end of the last video, which is where I was building that delete function, I realized that I needed to refactor my code. Now, refactoring code is really common, especially when you're working on a process like this. Even if you've mapped it out and you've written all the requirements, sometimes you get to a solution and you just kind of have a moment and you're like, there's a smarter way to do that. So today we're going to be refactoring our code to include watermarks. And watermarks are kind of like the date or time that we last modified a record, as well as an indicator if it's like a type 2 table or slowly changing dimension table indicator showing that that record is still valid. So if you haven't watched any of the previous videos in this series, we built out this semantic model right here, and it's a direct lake semantic model consuming these data tables out of a Fabric warehouse. Now, just a side note, if you want to watch the earlier videos in this series, which will make this video make a lot more sense, they're linked down in the video description. And while I have you, consider subscribing if you like BI, because we're about to get real in the weeds. So just heads up on that. But going back into this view, if you look, we built this fact budget table. And I initially only had this is current value, but I didn't have this start record, end record, and is current row indicator. So I executed this alter table statement. Now, just a side note, I initially wanted all these to be not null, but when you're altering a table in a Microsoft Fabric data warehouse, you cannot add not null constraints retroactively. So I didn't do that in this scenario. But once I did this, I then had a blank table. The next thing that I had to do was alter the stored procedure that's running the functionality behind a lot of the actual like interactivity of this Power BI report. And I needed to add it so that it would first fetch the system date time that it was running, right? And then it would go through and it would add when it's update a record, it would essentially set the old record's end valid record to time to that date time, and then set its current row indicator to 0. And then whenever it inserted a new record, it would set the start date time as now, and then update the end date time to some date in the future and the current record indicator to 1. Now, what this meant is that when I called this, right, and you'll see in here, I've kind of retroactively updated these. If we give it a second, right here, you can see this now being populated. So if I go ahead and I change this value right here to 10.3, and then I execute this statement right here, what you'll then see is if we then go back over here, we rerun this, you'll see that if we now look at our budget record, right, we now have a start time and then an end valid 2, and then a new start time when our new record was indicated, and now an end valid 2. So we now have a 1. So I'll use this is current value right here as a filter in my Power BI report. And then I'll use this is current row indicator on a filter as to what data I actually want to bring into the table. Now, these types of watermarks are essentially what's called a type 2 table, and it allows me as the admin or someone to essentially roll back changes if someone did a mistake, right? So like, let's just say my business stakeholders who I was building this financial process for got really upset and someone clicked a bunch of records. I could go back in time and kind of reverse those changes with some very surgical delete and then update statements. So this is super useful, especially if you have mistake prone stakeholders. Now, going back into this, the one piece that I have yet to do is when I go through and I set this update statement right here, I didn't update this. So the current row indicator would still be 1, right? And that's because this is just setting the current value equal to n, which would then remove it from our statement, right? Do I want to update this so that it's a yes? I don't think so, and that's because this is current value column is just going to drive Power BI functionality in the report and not actually stuff that's manipulating. So, what is up next? Well, we got to go into Power BI and we got to start plugging some of this stuff in. Now, this is going to be coming in a later video series, but I figured I'd give you guys just kind of a sneak peek and we'll open up a Power BI file and then connect into our direct lake model. So, jumping back into the computer here, I'm going to go Power BI. I'm going to open up Power BI desktop on my personal laptop. Now that we're in Power BI desktop, I'm going to hit this One Lake Catalog button. And then once this One Lake Catalog button is open, I'm going to select our financial forecasting data model, which is the Direct Lake data model that we made initially. Now this is going to take probably a hot second to load, but once it does, it's frozen. So we'll unpause that. But once it does load, and there we go. Okay, we just saw it load. We now have access to our star schema. Now, this fact budget table, if you notice right here, doesn't actually have any of our new columns. And that's because we need to go and we need to refresh that semantic model. So I'm going to go back over here. And then I'm going to go into this My Construction Company workspace. And then I'm going to go into this financial forecasting data model. I'm going to go open data model. And then I'm going to go over here to editing, right? And then I'm going to go over here to edit tables. It's going to fetch the schema. And I'm going to hit this little refresh button right here. And then when we hit confirm again, what we should see, if everything is going well, and there we go, is that it picked up our new values, which is great. So this is now good right here. And then this is the beauty of Direct Lake, right? I edited it in the web. If I now go back into my Power BI desktop file and refresh it, I now have these values. So there you have it. We have now completed most of the technical part of this project. Everything that's left from here on out is either going to be DAX or Power BI design. So if you are interested in watching that and see that continue to play out over the next week or so, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and thanks for watching. Bye.